Three, two, one, action. Welcome to day three of our virtual anniversary spectacular. By the way, side note, Sean, I asked Sean to give me some fancy titles for this event. We were trying to figure it out, and he sent me a list a mile long, and we didn't choose one of them. What we did is we chose one from each one, and we came up with this very fancy title, Virtual Anniversary Spectacular. But anyway, today event is going to be very special because the one and only Dazzling Dawn. Ooh, that's my new nickname. Sometimes it just hits me in the moment, and that's what
Yeah.
happens. So Dazzling Dawn is going to teach an ultimate variety features class for all. Boy, that's a mouthful. But she is going to cover and educate you, learn you some stuff on some really cool things today. Before we begin, I'm going to do it. Let's see. In the chat, you wanted me to provide everybody with this special chart.
Yep, I sure
Maybe you
do.
can explain it as I'm getting ready to find it here.
Okay. All right. A lot of you have asked me, where does my organ fall on the list? And, we're always showing you organs, and sometimes it's like, well, where is this in the scheme of things? So I've actually made up, and some of you have already gotten this one, and I kind of revised it because I forgot a few of them before. I have actually put together a list of organs so that you can see where yours falls, how big it is, how small it is, which line it's in. So, it's actually pretty cool to be able to see where your organ is. And today we're going to talk about a lot of features. And oh my God, we're going to be here till 10 o'clock tonight talking about features. So I hope you're comfortable and I hope you have some snacks. No, there's too many features to put into 1 hour. Way too many features. So I chose some and I forgot others. And, if I forgot some of your favorites, my apologies. And I've also tried to choose features that are on some of these smaller instruments. It seems like sometimes we get on a big instrument like this and this is all we talk about is the big ones. Well, a lot of the features today we're going to show off on the littler instruments as well. Okay, so Robert is going to help me out every now and then, and he's going to show you some of the features on, what do you have there, Robert? A Journey and a Freedom 3, right? Yep. Okay.
Journey
Perfect.
and Freedom 3.
Journey and Freedom 3. Perfect. I love it. All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm on. I am on a beautiful Imperial. Most of you have seen me on this instrument before. And I love working on this instrument, but we will talk about the little ones too. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is the easy button. Now, some people that have had me in class get a little confused because the first thing I tell you in Conductor Magic is just touch the easy button. And then when it comes to putting on a rhythm, you do rhythm and then you touch the easy button because Dawn told you to do that. The rhythm will put it on automatically for you, so, or the music style, whichever verbiage you're using. But the easy button, what that does is it allows you to play 1 and 2 fingered chords with the left hand. Now you can use it alone or you can use it with the music style. It will come on automatically if you choose one of your music styles. Okay, so that's what the easy button does. Now, general presets, let's just demonstrate. 1 note, 1 chord with 3 fingers. With the easy button, 1 finger, the whole thing. That's what the easy button does. Most of you already knew that. General presets. The general presets are those right here in the middle. Now, some of you have them and some of you do not, but even some of the smaller instruments. The Carnival has general presets, the LC15. The SE10 Regency has rhythm presets. The Easy 10 has, general presets. So those are the ones in the middle. And if you're not using a rhythm or you're not using a category, nothing else is on, then these become sounds unto themselves. And I'm just going to use the easy button and run down the list. They're the same on all organs of the same line, meaning that if you are on an S or an A organ, And now that you've got the list, you can see which ones those are. These are going to be the same on every instrument. And then I'll have Robert show off what they are on the E line. They're a little bit different. Number 1 is always a full organ. Number 2 is always a big, beautiful pipe organ. That's your phantom organ right there. Number 3 is always a beautiful theater organ. Number 4 are your beautiful strings. Number 5 is always a beautiful choir on the bottom, and your Christmas chimes on top. Number 6 is a beautiful 3-part harmony organ. And number 7 is always a choir. Number 8 is always beautiful piano and strings. Number 9 is a jazz organ. And number 10 is always the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Okay, now those can be used by themselves, but don't forget that they're there, because you can always use them with any music style you want. And we talk about them a lot more at Christmas time because sometimes they're very useful. But they're nice to know. It's nice to know that they're always the same in every instrument in the A and S lines. Okay, Mr. Robert, show everybody what they do in the E line.
Okay. Let's see. Sean there, you're going to spotlight over here.
Yeah, fine. All right.
All right. Okay. By the way, the other thing, before I do the setups here, the other sound that's slightly different is the power-up setup as well.
Mm-hmm.
So everything she just said that applies to those series of models, when you first power it up, those models also have what they call the Sweet Lowry organ sound.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some models that that's an E series that has the Sweet Lowry sound, and then there's some models, the E series, that has a different power-up sound. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think the EZ4, 10 Plus, Journey Fanfare all have the same power-up sound.
I think. Yep.
Okay.
I think you're right.
And someone could correct me if I'm wrong. But when you first power it up, you get a real pretty string setting here, and then some pianos. I think it's piano. There we go. Okay, so that's the power up setting. But if you touch number 1, you don't get the same sound she got. You get piano and what they call orchestral or strings and a vibes down here. Number 2, you get a nice Spanish guitar. So since I got my guitar tie, I'm going to play a little. Okay, let's see if I can translate it to here. And then on the bottom, you get a nice little flute. And by the way, I know this because I'm just reading it in the screen. I don't know this all by memory. Number 3, we get a nice rich Lowry organ with a sax on the bottom. 4, we also get strings, but slightly different. Violin on the bottom. number 5, we get a beautiful choir and the chimes in the bottom. 6, we get a real nice, different type of a jazz organ. And 7, we get an electric guitar. Oh, more guitars. I got to do a guitar chord there. Nice organ on the bottom. And on 8, we get, ooh, it says fanfare, not organ. I think it's something big. Oh, wrong time of the year, sorry.
Nice. That's all right.
All right, there you go. Yay! Round of applause.
Okay. Now, also, let's go back to something that not everybody has, but it's called a golden harp. I think a golden harp starts on a fanfare in the E line, and I can't remember what it is down the list a little bit. So if you're not sure if your instruments have some of these features, I'm going to encourage you to call your PA, your personal assistant, and make sure that they get with you or you get with them. Go to the store, make an appointment, and see, does my organ have one of these, and why not if it doesn't? Or if it does, they can show you where it is. All right, so your golden harp is basically it's an arpeggiator. Well, what the heck is an arpeggiator? What it does is it takes the chord that you're playing on the bottom and it breaks it into individual notes. So you're actually going to be getting, let's just go to a piano. Or if you were playing a different chord, it would break it up a different way. It just breaks up the chord one note at a time in different patterns, and it all depends upon the chord that you're playing. The golden harp can be used alone with one of these general presets, or it can be used with any of your music styles. And I'm going to demonstrate that right now with a beautiful song called Ave Maria, and I'm going to leave it on the general preset number 5 where I get the chimes. And you can actually slow down. Your tempo actually works with your golden harp, even if the rhythm is not on. Right now it's going fast. So I'm going to slow it down. Okay, that's pretty good right there. By the way, everything I do today, I am not programming into I haven't programmed anything. Everything I'm doing today is real time. So when I go to find a song, it's in real time. I didn't spend a lot of time going A1, A2. I did not memorize any presets, just so you know that. So Ave Maria with general preset number 5 and a golden harp. And listen to how beautiful this is. On the bottom, there's a pretty flute. And you can play a lot of Christmas hymns that way. and not even have to worry about a rhythm, but just let your golden harp be the rhythm with any of your.
Dawn,
Yes.
I have Golden Harp 1 or 2.
Hmm.
Which one did you use for that
I
song? Was it
used
one
number
and two?
one. Now the different numbers are the different patterns. We could talk about golden harp all day because the patterns are either going to go up and down, which was the pattern I used. Golden harp 2 is going to go up only. Golden harp 2 is going to, or 3 is going to come down only. And then you have other ones like a virtuoso and some crazy step things, or you have a guitar strum, which just keeps it in the range of how a guitar would pick.
Uh-huh.
So all of those numbers on your golden harp are just different patterns of what it's doing. I used
So
golden
if you
harp.
want to go up and down, you can use one to go up and down.
Just use number one. Just use the number one
Okay.
that comes up. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep, and if you guys feel free to interrupt me at any time, you know that. You know that. I'm good with that. Now I'm going to demonstrate the golden harp with a rhythm. And I'm also going to be using song setup. You're going to find me using song setup a lot because, like I said, I'm going to just be doing everything in real time. And my next song is one called Ebb Tide. Beautiful song. And I think I'll turn this off just to be able to hear. This is without the golden harp, the background. Okay. And this is with the golden harp. So you can use the golden harp with any music style that you want. Isn't that pretty? So you can use that golden harp alone or with any rhythm that you like. And it just adds a nice flow into your music. So for those of you that aren't sure if you have a golden harp, again, make an appointment with your personal assistant and go find out. Go find out where it is or if you even have it. Okay.
Dawn,
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
In that area of your organ, you have a number one button, which I noticed you punch to turn it on.
Yeah.
You have a more button and you
Correct.
have a genius button. Would you
Correct.
explain those other two for me?
Yes, I pretty much did when I talked about the patterns. If you touch the more button, it comes up in the window with all your patterns. So
Okay.
I'm just going to turn off this. Now it's on a skip pattern. Let's have that tempo. Now it's on a virtuoso pattern. Just a different pattern. Now it's on a step pattern. Now it's on a guitar pattern. Just kind of stays in one spot. Now, the genius right now is on. What is the genius? That's the blank tile in your Scrabble box, and the genius can be any sound that you want it to be. When your genius is turned off, any of these patterns, and let's go back to the up and down, will just be a beautiful harp sound. When I touch the genius, it's going to change the sound, not the pattern, but the sound. Now it's vibes, and it's in the window, and if I scroll, I can make it anything else. A violin, a singer, any instrument that you want to make it, you can change that. So that's what the genius does, is it changes the sound. The more button is the pattern. What is it actually doing?
Comprende, thank you.
Okay, very good. Very good. Any other questions so far? Nope. Okay. Let's move on. This is one of the best features that Lowry ever put into the organs and Esty at the same time, and it's called Song Setup. Song Setup. If you have no idea what to use for a music style or a rhythm for your song, the first place you look is Song Setup. It's always going to be in alphabetical order, and Song Setup is actually on some of the very small instruments as well. I believe the Easy 4 has a ton of them. I think the Easy 3 has a ton of them as well. And the Freedom 3 Song Setup. It is one of the best things that was ever done. And the bigger the organ, the longer the list. So the more songs will be in there. So what does it actually do? You find it, and I'm going to do it in real time. I'm going to find it in my keypad, and I'm going to find the bigger organs. I can actually go right to the letter. Some of the other organs, you just scroll. It's all in alphabetical order. The next song I'm going to do is Tijuana Taxi, and sorry, Andrew, I already had this picked out, and he played a beautiful job of this yesterday on his concert, and we're going to hear it again today. So now I'm going to scroll. Just scrolling, until we get to Tijuana Taxi. Now, when you touch it, it changes all the lights. What is it actually changing? It's choosing the music style for me, which it chose Latin salsa. It's choosing a tempo for me, which is 98. Now, I can change that if I wish. And it's choosing some sounds for me. It's choosing two sounds. It's choosing the lower sound and the upper sound on these keyboards, but it's only choosing two. Now, what it did do, and I want everybody to take note of this, it turned off the rhythm preset. We'll talk about rhythm presets in a second, because what Bill Curry did is he chose sounds that are perfect for this song. Not necessarily the rhythm, but this song. Okay, now you don't have to like those sounds either, but that's the ones he chose. So your song setup is an easy place to start, and it's a great suggestion for what you are going to be using. Now, sometimes it will also turn on an introduction for you, and the introduction comes on before you start to play. Your introduction is activated, and by the way, introductions are on every single instrument from now to the beginning of time to the end of time. And you turn it on, or it turns on with song setup, and you activate it by playing a chord of the song. Now remember, which chord do you want to play? It's not always the first one. It's always the last one. It is the key of the song that you are in. 99 times out of 100, it is the last chord of the song to activate your introduction. So we're going to play Tijuana Taxi, and I'm going to be using the introduction that came along with the song setup. Here we go. Feel like dancing? Go ahead. ending button and stop playing, it will put on a professional ending for you. So that's what the introduction does. It professionally begins and ends your song. All right. Now I'm just going to leave T1 a Taxi here for just a moment, because what if you didn't like that rhythm? I liked the tempo, but I didn't like the rhythm. Well, if you start pushing rhythms, what's going to change? The tempo is going to change every time, and then you have to sit and scroll. So I'm going to talk to you about something called tempo lock. As far as I know, most of these organs, including the Discovery 3 and the Freedom 3, and then your little Lowrys, which are the Easy 1, 2, 3, all of them have a tempo lock. Now, some
Dawn,
of you
before you
have.
go on, I,
Okay, go
before you
ahead.
go on, I want to mention one thing about the song setup that some
Okay.
people don't know, or they get confused by this. So hold that thought. Tempo lock,
Okay.
folks.
All
All
right.
right. Now let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get in and zoom in just for a second on this.
Ooh.
All right. Can everybody see the screen okay there?
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit. Let me do it from power up. While it's powering. By the way, that little key thing you say I always start with the last chord.
Mm-hmm.
I told that to a class once, and and then I got that 0.1% chance where it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Banjo changes keys from
Yeah,
C to
that's the
F.
only time.
And
Yep.
someone said, "This sounds funny when I started off," and I went, "That's the 0.1% chance."
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. So the screen's on. So I'm going to hit song setup. So as you know, song setup lists all the song titles in alphabetical order. Now we tell folks you can go frontwards or backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to get to a song setup in the S's, I might go backwards. However, there are a couple models, and I don't know all of them, but I know two of them,
Mm-hmm.
that if you go backwards,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to go to the Z's,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. Okay? So if I hit song setup on the Freedom 3 as an example, I'll just say it. Let me just look it up here. Song setup. The first one is Ach du lieber.
Augustine.
Yeah, that
Yep.
song. If I go up, achy breaky, all things you're okay. Now I'm gonna go backwards, back to that. If I go backwards, the first song it says easy, easy, zippy doo dah. Why? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On here, on the journey, this is apply. Some of you have the journey, but if I go frontwards, you could see it's going alphabetically. Now, most people, if you go backwards, you would expect a Z title to come up or something like that. Instead, it goes alphabetically the other way as well. Ain't misbehaving, almost like a song, always on mine. You see that there? C's, D's. Now watch what happens when I get to, I don't know which one it is, but maybe someone of my staff members says zippity doo-dah. Now notice how I got to the zippity doo-dah. Now I'm going backwards. Now it's going backwards alphabetically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you may ask, why is that, Robert?
Why is that, Robert?
Why
I'm
is
glad-
that?
I'm glad you asked. Don knows the answer. That's because this little group of song setups were song setups that also chose some of the new styles on that model. So there's I don't know how many of them are. There are a group of song setups on the journey that introduced the new styles in that model. By the way, if you have a symphony, what I'm telling you applies to that as well.
Yes.
So make a note. If you have a symphony, you go backwards. There's a group of song setups that also access some of the new styles. So it's just kind of an FYI. Those are the only two models that I know of. If there was others, you guys can tell me. So there you go.
Thank you, Robert. I forgot all about that. Thank you.
I feel like I educated you, learned you stuff.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Okay, and tempo lock. We were doing tempo lock, and on the Imperial, all I have to do is take these two fingers and touch tempo. I'm still on the song setup for Tijuana Taxi. If I like the tempo, I can just hit those two together. Now I know my tempo is going to stay the same, and if I want, I can go shopping. Ladies, we like to go shopping for other rhythms for my Tijuana taxi. And so I can look and go, what do I want? Do I want mariachi? Do I want Jimmy Buffett? Yeah, let's pick Jimmy Buffett. He'd be pretty good on this one. And the tempo stays where I liked it. I just maybe didn't like the original rhythm. So you can lock your tempo and audition or go shopping for other rhythms for your song. So that's where song setup also becomes good, because it's a great suggestion to get you started, and then you can go off and start getting creative and doing your own thing. So if I try Jimmy Buffett, oh, that'll work. It just makes it a little more laid back. But that's just a tip you can use for tempo lock. Now, how do you unlock it? You just touch your tempo again. Some of you don't have that ability. Some of you have buttons over here that are called locks, or you have a lock button next to your window, and they come up in the window. And what you're looking for is tempo lock. Just be sure that when you go back to your regular scheduled program that you unlock your tempo. Just touch it and turn it off, or touch one of the tempo buttons and turn the lights off. That'll turn off your tempo lock. Okay, let's talk a little bit about rhythm presets. We talked about what the song setup does. It brings up a sound here and a sound here. Can you guys see my keyboard?
Sure.
All right, it's a little bit out. Okay. So the song setup brings up two sounds for the song. When you are using a music style, the rhythm preset will bring up several fabulous sounds for that music style, not necessarily for a particular song. So now it's up to you to go through and find out which ones are going to work for your song that you're deciding to choose. Okay? And you're going to get a sound here and a sound here. Now, rhythm preset, that goes back a ways too. The SE10 Regency, I believe, was the very first one that had rhythm preset, that changed 4 of these presets into rhythm presets. Sounds perfect for each music style or rhythm. Now, here's what I want to let you know is that from the Inspire on up, Inspire, Rialto, and then the 3 at the top, Grand Marquis, and the Aria. You have a regular one, and then you have a vintage one. Oh my God, what's up with that? The regular one gives you rhythm presets from the E series. So if you're choosing a rhythm, let's say you're on the Inspire and you had a fanfare. If you choose a rhythm that the fanfare had on your Inspire, you're going to choose the regular rhythm preset because those are the sounds you were used to. Now let's say you went to an Inspire and you had a Legacy. Okay, for example, an SU instrument. Now, if you choose a rhythm that's similar, what you're going to want to do is go to the vintage, because your vintage is going to be all the SU and A rhythm presets. Those are the ones that the SU and A owners are used to. So how many are you guys actually getting? A ton. You're getting 11, 22, 44. 44 rhythm presets. So it's kind of nice that the top of the line is the pinnacle of both the sides. It's the S and A side and the E side, and the presets, regular, vintage. Some of your instruments also have an organ rhythm preset. And what that does is change all of these to beautiful organ sounds that are going to be perfect for whatever music style you are playing. All right, so I told you I'm playing live today. I did not pre-program presets. We're going to do Bad Bad Leroy Brown today. We did him in class, and it was pretty much fun. And what I'm going to do is just choose a music style. Let's choose East Coast Swing Jive. Okay, and I'm going to put it on alter style, and I'm going to put the tempo to about 150, and I'm just going to start pushing rhythm presets. I will start with what we call rhythm preset 0. That's just the one that's here. And then I'm going to just push a couple of buttons, and don't forget you have sounds top and sounds bottom. Some of them are going to sound good. Some of them you might not like so much, because remember, these are not necessarily for the song, but they are for the music style, and it's up to you to try them all and then write down the ones that you want. I didn't write down any of them. I'm just going to go through and do hit and miss. So this is what happens with the rhythm presets. Let's put on an introduction as well now that we've learned what that is. Okay, let's pick a different one. Let's go to number 1. Lost my place. Let's put a duet on just for fun because we can. Let's pick a different one just for fun. No, I don't think I want that one. Let's do a 50s sax. Let's pick number 8, which is a piano. And what you do then is you find the ones that you like, and where you're going to be making your changes, you just write it in. I want rhythm preset number 9. And I want to play upper, so I might want to put a little U next to it. Maybe I like the lower sound, which here is a guitar with a growling sax. So then you'd want to put number 9 L for lower. So use that to your advantage and just fill in the ones that you like. Now tomorrow you can change your mind. That's what's so cool. You don't have to keep them as the law. So write them in pencil, because tomorrow, I guarantee you, you will change your mind. It's more fun to do that when you have lots of choices. And if you are on one of the larger instruments, make sure you say regular or vintage so that you know which one it is. You got to know which side you are pulling your sounds from. Okay, any questions at all about rhythm presets, also known as style setups? On the E organs, they are called style setups, but it's the same principle. Any questions on that? Nope? Okay. All right, we talk about them a lot, so you probably already know all that good stuff. Now let's talk about something called harmony. Now what is harmony? Harmony does for your right hand what the easy button does for your left hand, which means you can now play multiple fingered chords with one finger, because your harmony button is going to do it for you, and all you're going to just do is play the melody with your one finger. It is dependent upon which chord you are playing. That's how it knows which notes to put underneath. So if you're playing a C chord and you've got a duet on, duet means 2, you're going to get the second note underneath. It's kind of like playing like that with 2 fingers. If you put on the AOC, you get a bigger chord. We could talk all day about harmonies too, by the way. There's a country harmony, a barbershop harmony. Both of those will put your harmony note on top of the melody. The rest of them all put their harmony notes under the melody in various forms on the keyboard. An open harmony or a three-part is going to break up this and bring it, just open out the chord. You can have him harmony or her harmony, him and hers. No, now I'm starting to. Robert, you're rubbing off on me. That's terrible. Oh my
Hey,
God.
that's a good classic joke. I like that.
How did I get into this?
Right.
That sound like something I would say.
Yes, it does. Most
Oh.
definitely. Oh
We
my
learn
goodness.
from example.
Oh,
So again, I'm going to song setup because I can. I don't have anything programmed in, and I'm pulling up one called The Rose. The Rose. I went to the R's. Here it is, The Rose. Touch it, all the lights change. It has now chosen for me a rhythm plus orchestration or a music style. It's chosen for me a tempo, and it's chosen for me two sounds. The rhythm preset went out. Remember, on song setup, you're just getting the two sounds that are perfect for that song. Now, if you get bored with those, yeah, then you can touch rhythm preset and choose the ones that will work for you with the rhythm presets. If you don't go to rhythm preset, you're going to end up with those general presets, and you might get a Phantom of the Opera sound in the middle of the Rose, and that's not going to sound too good. So that's the best advice I can give you today about song setup versus rhythm presets. Today, what I want you to listen to in the Rose is the different harmonies that I'm going to use. I'm going to be using a duet harmony, and there's one automatically done for me down here on the lower keyboard, so I'm going to use that one. I will be playing a country harmony, which I'll have to push the more button and touch country in the window, and that's going to put the harmony note on top. And then part of the song I'm going to play with full AOC, which is going to give me a totally different sound. So we'll play the Rose and listen for the different harmonies. I'm also going to be using the introduction because it came on, and I'm going to start with the last chord. Single note. Now I'm going to play a duet. Single note. Okay, now I'm going to do the FX or the fill-in. I'm going to touch more on the harmony, and I'm going to touch country. So I now will have my harmony note on the top. I'm going to go to the lower and do the duet. I'm going to do the full AOC on the top. Did you hear the different harmonies? Did you hear the difference between just having a one-note duet or putting the harmony note on top with that country harmony, and then having the full harmony on the bottom with an AOC. So
Yeah, to tell the difference, yeah.
good, good. Yes.
That's more fuller.
You can use different harmonies in the same song to build some different effects and make your verses sound a little different. And I did not change sounds except the ones that were given to me from song setup. So you can do that.
Right.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about category presets. Some of you have category presets and some of you do not. What are they? Well, let's say you don't like any of your rhythm presets. You don't like any of your vintage presets. So these are going to give you more presets. And what they are exactly like it says, by category. Theater changes all 10 of them to theater. Country changes all 10 to country. And they're always going to be in the same spot. Those can't be changed. They're static. All right, so you're going to find where your favorites are. If you like just a piano, big band number 8 is going to give you a piano. If you like just a trombone, big band number 1 is going to give you a trombone. So you're going to learn where your favorites are in the presets, and that prevents you from having to go up here. Now remember, I just did on Saturday, I did a red, blues, and tabs, and some of you got a little bit confused because it can be confusing. And that's why if you stay with presets, you don't even have to, you can ignore that last workshop that I did. The next song that I do, oh, I'm sorry, let's talk about bank presets just a little bit. Your bank presets are over here, A, B, C, D, E. Some of you have 1, some of you have 10. All right, what are they? They are programmable presets. Now, there's already sounds in them, but these are the ones that you can memorize. Memorize A1 with style. When we do concerts, that's normally what we do, is save our settings into these banks so that we don't have to be playing it live like this. We can just go one to the next, to the next, to the next, and have the perfect sound come up exactly the way we need it to. And again, that is a whole nother workshop all on its own. So we're not really going to talk about programming bank presets. What I'm going to do now is play a song called Norwegian Wood using category presets. So I'm going to go to a waltz because it is a waltz, and I'm going to use the Bojangles waltz. I'm going to put it at 160. Now when I go to a category preset, what is not on? Rhythm preset or vintage is not on. You can't do both. You can have either or. You cannot have both on at the same time. So when I go to my categories, I'm going to one that says Around the World. And I will be using number 2 and number 8 for Norwegian Wood. Number 2 is going to give me a French accordion. And number 8 gives me that Ravi Shankar sitar. Okay? So again, I did not have to spend a lot of time looking for genius voices. They're there in one of my category presets. Do I want an introduction? Sure, let's put on an introduction. Number 2. Number 8. Number 2. Number 8 again. Kind of your category presets can be very useful. It can save you time from going up to these geniuses and having to punch buttons, because as we found out on Saturday, that can get kind of tricky as to which sounds are going where. Category presets. Any questions so far? Category presets or bank presets? Nope. Now we're going to talk about fill-ins and glides. What's a fill-in? It's also known as an FX.
Fill in.
You use them all the time.
Nothing more than fill in.
Yep, it gives you a little bit of a boost in your song. Okay, so does it work on just easy? No. If I just put easy on, nothing's going to happen. You must have on one of your rhythms in order to use a fill. And I did use a lot of fill. You see, every time you see me put my thumb down here, I have a tendency to like putting my thumb down here and doing a lot of extra fills. Or, how else can you do a fill? You have an FX button or a fill button, and even the little organs have that. So you find where your fill is, and when you get to a point where you're holding a long note, you just push that fill button, and it'll just kick in and do something. I'm going to give you an example on one of my favorite backgrounds, which is Hawaiian Paradise. If I touch the button, and you let go and it finishes the measure. Or you can touch your touch bar. It just finishes the measure. Or I can kick my foot switch to the right. You can't see me, but I did it. So those are the ways to do your fill-ins, and you can use them pretty much wherever you want. But usually it's if you're in between verses, or you've got a long note like you're playing Mary Ann and you're holding a note for a long time, hit that fill-in or FX, and it will just give you a little kick. Then there is another foot switch, and it's on the left-hand side. What does that do? That is a glide sustain. Okay, now I know I forgot pedal magic. I'm going to go back and have Robert show you pedal magic for fill-in, but we're going to do it with the glide sustain as well. Glide sustain, what does that do? Well, a glide will twang your guitars. You have to kick your foot switch, and it detunes the whole top keyboard, and then play the note, and as you let your foot off of that switch, it will glide it back up. So it's kick, play, glide. Those of you that have programmable touch bars or you have a double touch bar, it defaults to the glide on the right side. Touch it, play the note, let go, and it glides your note right back up. So that can be kind of fun. Fiddles glide. This only works on instruments that will glide in real life, like fiddles, like trombones. Trombone will glide in real life. Your guitars, your violins, clarinets can glide, saxophones can glide. Okay, what if you're on a sound that doesn't glide? How about a piano? Does a piano glide? No. But this works as a sustain if you are using a piano. If I just play a piano, there's a little bit of reverb, but it just kind of, it's done. If I play it and then touch the bar, see how it holds? It sustains the sound. You can also do that with that kick switch to the left, and it'll hold it for you. And the minute I let go, it drops it. So it's something that you can use for depending on which sound that you happen to be using. This also can be done on pedal magic. Now I'm going to play a song first, and then I am going to have Robert show you how it's done on pedal magic. All right, we're going to play a song called Sleepwalk, which has a lot of gliding guitars. And again, I'm going to the keypad, and I'm going to go to the S's and song setup. Everything I'm doing today is live. Sleepwalk. Okay, it did set up the intro. It set up 50s love songs. It set up the tempo, and it chose 2 sounds for me for that specific song. So that's what I'm going to start with. where my glide. Yeah. So gliding on both saxophone and the guitar. Okay, Robert, we're going to turn it over to you, and he's going to show you how to do this on pedal magic. So there are some organs where you can do it on
Oh
a long
boy.
pedal.
Here we go. Let's see. Maybe I'll move the. Can you hear me okay? You can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I could put it to the pedals here a little bit. You see those pedals there? Okay. I'm glad I wore my fancy socks today to match. Otherwise, this would be a very boring portion of my program. Okay, so the first one you want me to show is what? Glide or fill?
Both, yes.
Fill-ins.
Yeah. Whatever you
Nothing
want.
more than fill-ins. Okay, and when you sing that song, you got to make that face. Fill-ins.
Yes.
Okay, anyway. Okay, so for those of you who have pedal magic, some of the models have 2 of these features. Some of you have all 4, but I'm going to mention the first 2 and then demonstrate the other 2. So over here, I don't know if you can see that, it says pedal magic on this, and some of you have through the features and some of you have it through the window. But if I push pedal magic, it says long and short and get close. So first of all, just to explain what those do, it allows you to play the pedals. So if you hit wrong notes on the pedals, if you hit any long and short, meaning the natural or the black pedal, while you're playing, it'll put the correct note in there for you. So if you happen to have that on while you're playing, and if you accidentally hit one of those pedals, it'll put it in the correct note, the bass note. Get close is for those. I think this was a joke that Lowry wanted to play for all those people who think they know how to play pedals. I've had pedal players come in once in a while over the years. They go, "Oh no, I know how to play," and then they go and they play, and they always play, and then they sometimes when they're supposed to hit the G, they hit the F instead, and it just sounds slightly off. I think that was Lowry's way of saying, let's put that on there just for them, just in case. So if you get close to the note, it'll play the correct note for you as well. Now, fill and glide, what Daun is talking about, what fill does is just that. So instead of using the foot switch or your touch bar, this one doesn't have it, but for those of you who have it, if you're able to put your fill in here, if you have a style on, you know, like, well, let's just put on a Franken the Count as an example. Okay. So normally you're filling, you'd hit the fill button here. Okay, or your foot switch, which a lot of people have a problem with. All right. So if you put it here on the touch bar, I mean on the pedal magic, all you have to do is hit. And you'll notice that when it's activated, it activates all of them. So you don't, and I think that's a very brilliant, because what you don't want to have to do when you're playing is have to look down at what note you're hitting. So I think having them at any pedal, what happens is while you're playing, you just put your foot down there and stop, and you don't have to worry about hitting a correct note, if you will. So that's how that works with the fill-in. You just hit it, get to there. Now, if you push pedal magic and you have the glide sustain setting, now a lot of the models have this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a style called Wonderful World. Now, Wonderful World normally sounds like for the song What a Wonderful World. And you can kind of hear the introduction there. You can hear all of the music and what have you. But on the Easy 10, the Fanfare, I believe, and the Journey, if you use your style setups, some of these style setups not only change the sound on the top or bottom keyboard, but they'll also change the background. So if you listen to style setup 1, let's see, hear that same thing. So now all of the musicians and the bands are away. So if I go to number 2, what it does is it says in the screen, sleepwalking. So that's that guitar sound. But what most people have trouble with is when they're playing is what, they glide. What typically happens is they do the switch. You have to hit the glide and hit the note and do it all right, and then you. And this is extremely dangerous to do when you have a spouse in the house that you want to ask how well you did. Like, honey, how did that sound? And they're put on the spot, because if it sounds like this, and then you turn around and you say, honey, how did that sound? That's not fair to that spouse, is it? Because they either have to be honest or they have to lie. It's a lose-lose situation. So if we put it here, just touch pedal magic, you get to glide, sustain, and then you get, here we go. I just learned that song, so I had to figure that out. But you get the point. You see, you can do, which is, it's commonly used with some of the Hawaiians. Now, you don't have to lift your foot up and do all that. You just tap it and let it go. So let me go back to and that's with Hawaiian guitars and so forth. But if I do Wonderful World number 6, you can do it with saxophones, clarinets. It works great. Whoops. There we go. And there you go, folks.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, Robert, we're over time.
Oh my goodness. If only everyone could get all of your notes for the class today, so that way they can continue. That
would be excellent.
Wouldn't that be great,
Yeah.
Sean, if everybody can get Dawn's handout?
Yeah, it sure would. Why don't we tell the nice people how they can get that?
Well, you probably should do that right now. And while we're doing that, and I'm going to do some quick announcements, Dawn's going to think of a closing song to play today,
Oh, all right.
if she hasn't already thought about it.
Yeah, I have 3 songs. I have 4 songs left.
Those
We're out of time.
musicians, they're always prepared.
Oh, yes.
Well, here's how, if you want her notes for the class, they're nice detailed notes. We're going to make them available. Oops, hit a wrong button on my computer here. Now I've got windows opening up. Whoa. If you go to our Patreon site, you've heard of it. We've talked about it several times. I love this website. It's a great spot to get kind of everything all in one place, one convenient spot. As you scroll down on our patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers right up here. And it's at the bottom of pretty much every email we send you. So look for that at the bottom here. You can click Become a Patron, and you can unlock all sorts of bonus videos that we post all the time, all sorts of extra stuff. And on some of them, we even attach notes and music and presets. And if you want, there's another way too, where you can, let me show you this window here. If you go to the bottom of that page, or if you become a patron, it's even easier. If you become a patron, you get this thing at the top of the page. if you want to see just Dawn's classes, you can click that. Or say your favorite, like mine, is Robert Roman. So I like to see Robert's classes. So I'll scroll until I see Robert Roman right here. And then I say, show me all of his classes. And then I can see all of his classes in order with attachments. See, sometimes he puts presets in there for you and notes that you can just click on. And boom, it just downloads right away. There it is. Holy moly, it's so easy I could do it. So that's just one way to get our notes. So if you're not sure how to use it, you can give us a call or we can walk you through the Patreon website some more, but we kind of show it to you often. So
Yeah, and if you need to find a way to get it, Sean said at the bottom of the email,
mhm.
at every bottom of the email, we always put something about Patreon. If you click on it, it'll automatically open up the page there. And what I also like is, for example, now this one you're able to see because I'm a patron actually. Dawn occasionally will write, I think actually Joni just did it for one of her classes as well. Well, they'll handwrite introductions for songs. This is how you can get them. And then you open it up, and then there it goes. That's straight from Dawn's hands right there,
Yep.
folks.
It's so easy you could do it too.
That's worth at least $30 right there if you ask
Oh,
me.
at least.
Now, another way you can get today's handout is you can call your personal assistant, set up an appointment with them, and they'll make sure to get those notes because they will have that. These notes will be available on Patreon this weekend. I'm going to schedule all these events to post this weekend. And then the last but not least, before we go on to a closing number, let's see here. Make sure I get the right thing open here. All right, so we have, as you know, we have 2 more days left and of our virtual anniversary spectacular. And tomorrow we have the one and only Sizzling Sean.
Sizzling, Sean, I
Sizzling.
love it.
Like bacon.
Sizzling Sean and Bacon Bart.
Oh, wow.
I don't have this written down. This is what just comes to my head in the
Makes
moment.
it sound unhealthy. We want people to come.
and I have to decide in a split second if it's something that it's okay to say, but it's too late now. It's recorded, and it's going to be online to the world. But anyway, they both have a phenomenal event planned for you tomorrow. It's at 3 p.m. Arizona, 6 p.m. Eastern. I notice some of you are from the UK here today. Thank you for attending. It means it's going to be really late or extremely early, should I say, your time. And then on Friday, just a reminder, Jerome Johnson and I are going to do a first time ever type of event on Friday's event. We definitely want you to invite as many of your friends. Tell them they have to come and attend this. And they're going to discover the fun of making music the easy way along with our program. We got a lot of cool things up our sleeve. These links are also on the website. And last but not least, we have a letter that was sent out. I'm not going to put it up, but I mentioned, we are celebrating our first year of virtual classes online. And we are here today. We want to say, again, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, we are determined to keep it going and growing our program, both in-store and online. And the best way you can assist is suggest, recommend a friend, refer a friend, tell them to get a beginner's model. The second way is you can always upgrade your instrument. Or a third way is you could buy another one for your house. Sometimes one is just not enough in the home, right? Yes, you can get 2. So anyway, take advantage of our current opportunities. We've got a great contest going on. It ends April 30th. There's a way that you can win your next organ or a top-of-the-line Lowry. And last but not least, I'm doing this because there's this little fly buzzing around. You can't see it, it's tiny. Oh, the camera's over here
Yeah,
anyway.
we only see your leg
Right?
this
Just
whole
tell
time.
me. This whole time I'm looking into the camera.
I thought maybe you were self-conscious with
Oh,
something.
I forgot to change the camera. And I'm sitting there getting animated talking about it, and I have this fly buzzing around too. So, anyway, so here I am. We have
Oh,
an emergency moving sale, not going out of business sale. It's emergency moving sale, so we don't go out of business. That's why we have these sales. So anyway, we have some really great models, selections of models from small, large, in between. That are in special. So keep an open mind to that. Keep an open mind to the opportunities. And again, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We thank you for all that you do. We thank you for all that you're going to do and all the friends you're going to refer and keeping the music alive. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the great dazzling Dawn
Boy.
Casanova, everybody. Here we go.
Oh, thank you so much for coming today, everybody. Remember, if you have questions, you know what to do. Call your PA, set up an appointment, and ask the questions. I did see in a chat how can I get a list of the organs mentioned. That will also be on Patreon. So if you need a list of the organs, Robert will have that on Patreon. Somebody also asked, can you use a fill-in for an introduction? Yes, you can use a fill-in for an introduction. That's actually a very interesting way to start some of your songs when the intro just doesn't quite sound right. Okay.
Dawn,
Posted in the
Dawn,
Yes.
I've gone on Patreon and tried to download some of those attachments, and
Uh-huh.
once I start with AP, won't print for me.
Okay, that's a
Is it-
Robert question.
that's because that's not something to print. An AP it means preset. So that's a preset that goes in your
Oh.
organ.
Yeah, the ones that you want to,
Ah.
the ones, just as we're on this note, the ones that you want to download are the ones that say PDF. If it says PDF on it, that means it's a PDF attachment. So can you see that screen there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I-
So here it says Dancing Queen whatever, that was her Dancing Queen introduction. Oh, verse 1. And it says PDF at the end of it. That
Okay.
means that's an actual printout that you can do. If this is AP set or EP set, that means those are presets for a model, and there's a different process for that. Okay.
how do you,
And also, what I'll do, just to make sure everybody can get it, on Sunday's email, when I do the announcement for the classes that's coming up next week, at the very bottom of the email, I'm going to put a link in there that if you click on it, it'll give you a list of all of the organs that we mentioned today, let's see if I have a list. Actually, it's in here, isn't it? Okay, let me open it up. It's
You
going to
also
look
posted it
something
as the
like,
chat.
it's going to look like this. I'll screen share it. Okay, so when you open it, it'll look like this, and it has, Don, you want to say something about this page real quick?
Yeah, it's just got pretty much every organ that I have known. It doesn't have the NLs or the NTs, not those ancient ones, because I'm older than dinosaurs. But it does have some of the more current models, and the newer ones are towards the top, and they are pretty much in order from size within the series. So the SU series, the Palladium is the largest one in the SU, and the Quick Start is the littlest one in the S series. So I tried to do it in order of size. So that's how that goes.
So when I send the email on Sunday about the upcoming classes for the week, I'll put what's called a button, and I'll say something like organ list or something like that. And if you click on it, it'll open that up. So you'll have a couple of ways of getting that. Okay? All right, with that said, Don's going to close it off with a fabulous number.
Well, I'm going to do today one of Sean's favorite songs, and he does like to play it a lot. But everybody loves this song, and I haven't played it in a while, but it's just kind of fun. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And what I'm using is a feature called Portamento. And what Portamento does is it allows you to glide from one note to the next by holding the bottom note. So if I hold a note here, it will glide all the way up to the top one by holding. And the larger the length of the keyboard, it'll do some like alien swoops if you want to do that. So by holding the bottom note and then touching the top one, and I'm holding that one, and it just gives you that little bit of a live glide. So here we go with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's put on an intro. Fade out. There was a lot of features that we didn't even get to today, and my apologies. We ran out of time. So yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime. Don't forget, ask questions, call your PAs, and thank you so much for coming today. If you learned one thing, you are 100% successful.
And a
Thank
big
you.
round of
Pleasure.
applause.
Thank you.
Round of applause to Daun Casanova, everybody.
Awesome, awesome. Great class, great class.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Sean.
Go, Don.
Dazzling Dawn does it again. Dazzling Dawn does it again.
Great
Your
job.
treasure, kiddo. Thank you.
Thank you.